Next tonight, they're described as being hidden from view. The thousands of young carers under the age of 18 helping to look after loved ones in Yorkshire.
Well, many are carrying out their responsibilities unseen by the authorities and without any outside support. I've been looking at the role of one young carer and his father in Sheffield. Archie Bates-Walsh is just about to start secondary school. But at the age of 11, he already shoulders responsibility far beyond his tender years. Archie is a young carer looking after his dad, Tom, who was forced to give up work through ill health. Tom has arthritis in his hands, feet, hips and spine, sciatica and lung disease.
As soon as you wake up, you've got a life to live. You've got breakfast to make, dinner to cook, beds to make, house wants looking after. And with a disability like arthritis, it varies in its integrity and its intensity. So one day I might be able to remove a lid, the next day I can't. When the sciatica kicks in, you can't put your socks on, you can't put your shoes on, you can't do it. So it's Archie, Archie, down he comes from his Xbox One S.
Without Archie's help around the house, Tom says life would be impossible. Simple jobs such as cleaning and tidying the home wouldn't get done. So how does Archie balance his school studies with helping Dad?
I mostly do my homework at dinner times at school on Thursday. I normally help my dad because he's more important to me, I think, than having to do something for school.
It's thought there are more than 7,000 young carers under the age of 18 in Sheffield alone. 1 in 12 children take on mid to high level care for an ill or disabled family member. And only 20% of young carers receive support from their local authority. Tom says his worsening health meant he had no choice but to eventually stop working as a skilled engineer. But like many, he struggled to get help.
Initially, there was no understanding whatsoever, I found. And it just became a cyclic event that just led to emotional stress, mental stress, financial stress. And when someone says to you that light at the end of the tunnel has been turned off, it was turned off. Right, mate, I think we need some carrots. So, usual routine, pal.
According to the Children's Commissioner for England, the vast majority of young carers look after relatives, half for a sibling, more than a quarter for a parent. Their sense of devotion and loyalty is exceptional.
I help him because he's my dad and because I love him.
The bond between Tom and Archie is obvious, their respect for each other immense. A young son looking after his frail father through the misfortune of ill health.
Totally proud. Totally proud.
It's so moving to hear that, and it's not surprising that he's so proud of Archie. So much responsibility on such young shoulders.
Yeah, it's extraordinary, the devotion that these young people show. Well, Sarah Gowan is here from Sheffield Young Carers. Sarah, we heard in the piece there, didn't we, 7,000 plus young carers in Sheffield, and you look after just a fraction of those people, don't you?
Yeah, we look after about 200 new young carers referred to our service each year, but a lot of young carers still remain quite hidden, and part of our role is trying to raise awareness, which is great to be, to be featuring here today, to raise awareness about young carers so more can receive support.
And what sort of help should they be getting?
I think it's helped so at least someone to start talking to about it and understand what their situation is, to meet other young people in a similar situation to them, and then things like getting support from school, so school understands what pressures they're under. So if they turn up late, understand why they're late. If they're having problems getting their homework done or concentrating in class, maybe it's been a difficult night the night before looking after someone at home, and some understanding around that. Same with the sort of GPs and other services, understanding what young carers go through and what support they can offer them, and identify them as early as possible so we can make a difference.
Many viewers tonight will be watching and thinking, well, it's unfair on the children because they're losing their childhood, their adolescence. How do you feel about that?
I think it is difficult. I mean, I think a lot of young carers are very proud of what they do and they feel very skilled. So I think it's really important that we don't just think we just picture them, because they are very skilled, mature, amazing young people. But it does have a big impact on their life, on their education, on their own emotional well-being. So it is really important that we can identify them and offer them support. because by doing that we can hopefully reduce the impact of caring on them, reduce those levels of responsibility, so they can be children, so they can have fun, they can go out with their friends and do the stuff that other children and young people do.
Now Archie, we saw that he was just 11 years old. What are some of the youngest carers that you've seen?
We support young carers from age 8 upwards in our service, but there are young carers from 5 upwards that are looking after a disabled or ill person in their family.
What sort of thing is a 5-year-old doing as a carer?
I think it's important to understand with young carers, people don't really understand the emotional kind of care that a lot of young carers do. It's not just the physical care, but they're concerned about what their parent like. They might have to cheer them up. Then when they come in from school, or they kind of how they're going to be, and I'll come in, I won't think about how I'm feeling, I'll think about how they are. And putting other people first is what they'll do. Even at a very young age, it's surprising, even at a very young age, that children do that. And because they do it out of love for their family member, but it's often because they're not getting any other support.
OK, Sarah, well, listen, we'll have to leave it there. Time's beaten us, but many thanks for coming in and explaining to us tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Sarah.